Welcome to today's Explainer. We are jumping right into a wildly popular health claim that's been spreading like wildfire across social media lately. It's making some absolutely massive, life-saving promises about something you've probably got sitting in your fridge right now: milk. So we're going to unpack the science, look at the hard numbers, and dig into a really fascinating Japanese simulation study to figure out what the data actually says about milk and stroke prevention.
Okay, so let's start with the big question at the center of all this buzz. Is it really true that just one single glass of milk a day reduces your stroke risk by 10%? I mean, it almost sounds too simple, doesn't it? A dietary tweak that easy, potentially saving tens of thousands of lives? In a world full of super complex medical advice, a claim like this is definitely going to grab our attention. But today, we are separating the scientific facts from the internet fiction.
All right, let's dive into Section 1, Viral News, Milk versus Stroke.
So here is the specific viral rumor we're fact-checking. The posts out there assert that drinking exactly 180 grams of cow's milk daily, which, by the way, is roughly one standard glass, lowers your stroke risk by 10% and literally saves tens of thousands of lives. It's a bold, highly specific, and very confident claim. But, where did these numbers actually come from? Are they grounded in reality, or is this just another case of social media exaggeration?
Well, let's find out in Section 2, Truth from Japanese Research. Turns out, this claim didn't just appear out of thin air. It actually stems from a very real, legitimate study published in the academic journal Nutrients. A team of Japanese researchers ran what's known as a 10-year simulation analysis, specifically focusing on adults aged 30 to 79. Now, notice that key phrase, simulation analysis. This means it's a highly sophisticated statistical model looking a decade into the future. It's not a clinical trial where they just handed out milk to people and watched what happened. Rather, it's a data-driven forecast based on population health metrics.
And the numbers here brilliantly illustrate the core scenario of that simulation. You have the current average intake of the study population, which was sitting at about 61.8 grams of milk per day. And then you have the target intake, the optimal daily goal they wanted to test, which was 180 grams. So, the simulation essentially asked a massive what-if question. What happens to the overall health of a population if we shift their dietary habits from an average of about 62 grams all the way up to that 180-gram mark?
Well, when the researchers ran those numbers through their 10-year simulation, boom, they found a standout data point, 10.6%. This number represents the absolute maximum stroke risk reduction observed for certain demographic groups when they successfully reach that 180-gram target. So the viral posts were actually onto something. They didn't just invent the 10% stat. It's deeply rooted in the upper limits of what the simulation found.
But wait, we got to look at the broader picture to get the full truth. While some specific groups did indeed see that impressive 10.6% drop, the overall population stroke risk reduction averaged out to around 7%. You see, this is exactly how science gets translated into viral news. People tend to grab the highest possible number. But honestly, make no mistake, a 7% reduction across an entire population is still a highly significant and really positive public health finding.
So how does it work? Let's move to Section 3, the mechanism, milk as medicine.
Why exactly would milk act as a preventative medicine here? What is going on inside the human body? Well, it's not magic, it's just really beautiful biochemistry. The researchers specifically highlighted 3 vital minerals found abundantly in cow's milk: calcium, potassium, and magnesium. When you're drinking that 180 grams, you are basically delivering a potent cocktail of these 3 specific elements straight into your system.
And how do they prevent a stroke? These specific minerals are incredibly effective at helping your body naturally control blood pressure. On top of that, they actively cause your blood vessels to relax. Since high blood pressure and tightly constricted blood vessels are the primary, really dangerous drivers of strokes, consistently giving your body these minerals helps maintain a much healthier, more resilient circulatory system. It literally takes the pressure off your internal plumbing.
Now, we really need to pause here for a second and make a vital distinction, something the researchers stressed heavily. We are looking at a population simulation, meaning a statistical trend across thousands of people over an entire decade. What we are not looking at is an individual guarantee. Drinking a glass of milk a day is a fantastic statistical bet for broad public health, but it is absolutely not a standalone medical cure that guarantees you as an individual will never suffer a stroke.
Which brings us right into Section 4, Precautions before drinking.
Because human health is never just about one single magic bullet, right? We have to look at the real-world application here.
The medical professionals reviewing this data were super clear. Holistic stroke prevention requires a lot more than just pouring a glass of milk every morning. You have to consider your broader lifestyle. That means actively avoiding highly salty foods, because salt directly counteracts those amazing blood pressure-lowering minerals we just talked about, and you've got to maintain regular physical exercise. Think of milk as an excellent piece of the puzzle, for sure, but it's not the whole picture.
The report also zoomed out a bit to look at global dietary trends, which is fascinating. They noted that milk consumption is actually decreasing in several countries right now, using the UK as a prime example. The warning here is that if populations skip milk entirely without finding proper nutrient-dense substitutes, it could lead to other serious nutritional gaps. They specifically warned about a potential rise in vitamin B12 and iodine deficiencies. So completely removing it from your diet has negative ripple effects too.
Finally, one last, super important safety check straight from the report. If you have lactose intolerance, or if you struggle with high blood lipids, like high cholesterol, please don't just suddenly start chugging 180 grams of regular whole milk every day because of a viral tweet. You really need to consult your doctor or find appropriate alternative products that fit your specific medical needs, while still safely giving you those essential minerals.
So, wrapping this all up, we've unpacked the viral hype, we've looked at the hard data from the Japanese simulation, and we've explored both the biological mechanisms and the necessary lifestyle precautions. The science clearly shows a genuine statistical health benefit to drinking milk, but it requires a smart, balanced approach. Which leaves us with the most important takeaway for you. Armed with this information, how will you balance your daily diet today?